Hello fellow photographers, this is Awad welcoming back you all to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to see how I converted this photo into this by using Snapseed and mobile Lightroom. So first I have imported the photo into Snapseed because we want to do some little minute adjustments to the photograph. We will select the selective tool, and if you can see, the ground right here is more brighter than the ground further apart, so we will do a selective tool adjustment to this area and decrease the brightness so it will match with the rest of the ground. We'll copy that and paste it here and also do the same right here. Now the ground is looking even, but there is also some of the parts which are distracting to the viewers, which may distract the viewers, so we'll get rid of them by healing tool. Now I have healed out some of the parts from the photograph which were distracting. Now let's manipulate the light in such a way that the viewer's attention would go right to the middle of the photograph, not in the corners. We'll select the brush tool and select the exposure, and we'll decrease the exposure to -3, and we'll just apply the effect or the brush to the corner of the photograph. And now we'll increase the exposure to around 0.7, and we'll just dab it wherever the light is coming, so that the part which is brighter will look there is sunlight coming from that area. We'll also do these adjustments in the Lightroom later, so it will be more pleasing to the viewers. There is one more area right here which needs to be darker, so we'll select that and decrease the brightness. Now this is looking closer to what we want to do. Now we'll move to the Lightroom. We have imported the photo into Lightroom, so we'll go to the basic adjustments and we'll tweak the photograph according to our need. I will decrease the exposure, and later we'll increase the exposure in the part from where we want the viewers to be seen that sunlight is coming from there. I'll increase the contrast to around 15 or 16, and I'll increase the shadows just a little bit. I'm not going to change any other criterias, but we'll just move to white balance. I'll increase the white balance and give it a more yellowish look. Now we'll move to mix, and we'll change the hue, saturation, luminance of the greens, yellows and oranges, which are majority part in the photograph. I'll increase the hue of greens to around 30 and decrease the saturation half the way, and I'll also increase the luminance. It will not look good now, but when we apply all the adjustments, it will look better. I will decrease the hue of yellows because the ground was looking very yellowish. I don't like yellows that much, so we'll change that, and also increase the saturation to around 20 and luminance also to around 25. Now we'll move to orange, and we'll change the hue of orange also, increasing saturation and decreasing luminance just a little bit. Now this is done. We'll move to curves and I'll give it a slight S curve, but with a little bit of, just a little bit of fading in the shadows. It is looking more contrasty now. If we just like to decrease it, we'll decrease the contrast from right here. The curve give it a more pleasing look, and we have also added faded look from curves, so we'll not change the curves now. Now we'll move to split toning and I'll give highlights just a bit of yellow tint, giving saturation around 15. If you want to see how split toning works, I'll be linking the videos that I made on understanding Lightroom in the description below, so you can check them out. Now we'll move to the next section, that is with sharpening. I will increase the sharpening around 30, but increase the masking very much, because we want to limit the sharpening effect in smaller part or the borders area of the subject and other parts of the photograph. Now I will move back and I'll decrease the vignetting just a little bit. And also decrease the midpoint. It will increase the area where we are applying the vignetting effect. Now we'll move to the selective filters, and I will add a gradual filter from the bottom of the photograph and adjust it according to the position of where we want to give the effect, and I will decrease the exposure from the bottom of the photograph. That will result into viewer's attention going directly to the subject and to the light of in the photograph rather than going to the bottom. Now we'll add one more filter, a selective filter. I will decrease the flow to around 20 and I will just give strokes from I think the light will be coming, and I will increase the exposure from there and change the color to more yellowish and decrease a bit of saturation. Okay guys, so the photo is ready, but if we look at it, it is looking a bit darker, so I will just increase the exposure to around 0.3 and it is good to go. Here is the before and here is the after. Before and after. So this is it for this week's video. Thank you very much for watching the video.